A very good morning. You're watching Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha TV with me, Tina Jha. Let's begin with the top stories of the day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi dedicates the Burnpur ISCO steel plant to the nation, which is federalism in the company of West Bengal Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee. 3 fresh tremors trigger widespread panic in Nepal. Avalanches and landslides hamper rescue work in many areas. It's D-Day for former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister Jayalalitha. Karnataka High Court set to give its verdict on her appeal in the disproportionate assets case conviction. And Indo-Pak cricketing ties set to resume this December with a series in the UAE. PCB and BCCI announced itinerary of the series. Well, the government is set to push key reform bills today as the second phase of the budget session nears an end. Despite opposition clearing their reservations, the government plans to move the controversial land bill today in a last-ditch effort to get it passed in the Lok Sabha. Several other key bills are lined up in the remaining days. Here's a look.
Extended by 3 days, the ongoing session in Lok Sabha is likely to see the government trying to push through key legislations. Time is running out for the government to see through the proposed land acquisition bill on which the centre had issued 2 ordinances. The bill is slated to come up in the lower house today. The opposition, led by Congress, has been protesting against the proposed legislation, calling it anti-farmer. Their strategy will be to stop the government from getting the bill through in the lower house.
How can you take away farmers' land, which also in the long run will threaten the food security of the country, without their consent? So we are opposed to this. We will oppose it when it comes to Rajya Sabha, and our opposition, along with other like-minded parties, will continue.
This bill will be opposed, particularly by all opposition parties, and this bill will have to be referred to Parliament Standing Committee. Even if they pass it in Lok Sabha, because they have the majority in Lok Sabha, if they pass it in Lok Sabha, if it comes to Rajya Sabha, there it will be questioned, and there will be demand that bill should be referred to Select Committee of Rajya Sabha.
Narendra Modi initiated only the farmers' land, only for free housing scheme of the poor people, only for low costing house for the village people, and for the irrigation schemes, and for the rural road projects, and rural schools, and rural health activity. In this land project, in the land bill, we are initiated only the lands only for the sake of the infrastructure in the villages only.
Several other key bills remain pending in either house. Main among those are GST bill, real estate regulation bill, bill on black money and the whistleblowers protection bill. Opposition parties have demanded that the bills on GST and real estate should be sent to standing committees.
Well, we are in favor of GST. We were the ones who brought the GST. And leading the charge against the GST was the then Gujarat Chief Minister, Shri Narendra Modi, who is now our Prime Minister. Now wisdom has dawned upon them. We are happy. What we have told the government, that they should not be rigid. They should not make it a prestige issue and bulldoze it through the Parliament. They must respect the justification of parliamentary scrutiny, and after the Select Committee, it can be brought in the monsoon session and passed.
All eyes will be now on the strategy of the opposition parties this week. Congress has already issued whip to its members in the upper house, indicating that there will be no let-up in its opposition to some of the bills. They are also likely to step up demand for resignation of Transport Minister Nitin Gadkari over a CAG report indicting Purti Group of irregularities. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Meanwhile, the BJP is leaving no stone unturned to campaign for the land acquisition bill. Party chief Amit Shah was in Madhya Pradesh on Sunday, where he accused the opposition of spreading falsehood over the proposed bill. He assured that not an inch of farmers' land will be given away to the industrialists, as being alleged by the Congress. He also called upon party cadres to reach out to the masses to counter false claims by the Congress over the bill.
भूमि अधिग्रहण बिल के द्वारा किसानों की जमीन बड़े बड़े औद्योगिक घरानों को दी जाए। मैं आज इस मंच पर से आपके माध्यम से पूरे मध्य प्रदेश के किसानों को आश्वस्त करना चाहता हूं कि भूमि अधिग्रहण बिल में एक भी जगह ऐसी नहीं छोड़ी है जिससे किसान की भूमि कोई बड़े औद्योगिक घराने को 1 इंच भी जमीन मिले। कांग्रेस के लोगों ये झूठ फैलाना बंद करो।
And to discuss how the government is going to go about the controversial bill, we are being joined by Mr. Parsa Venkateshwar Rao Jr., who is an editorial consultant at the DNA. Very good morning, sir, and welcome to Rajya Sabha TV. You know, we just saw in our report that despite the united opposition unrelenting, the government is going to make one last-ditch effort to get the land acquisition bill passed in Lok Sabha. They can pass it in Lok Sabha, of course, with the numbers, but how difficult is it going to be for them to manage the floor strength, especially when their own allies are not on board?
In Lok Sabha, I think the BJP's own numbers are sufficient enough to push the bill through, sort of, because we have seen that that has been their strategy to make use of their strength where they have. But the real problem comes in the Rajya Sabha, where they do not have the numbers. Even in the Lok Sabha, the non-committed parties like BJD are a problem, because they are not fully convinced that the land acquisition bill is positive or it's pro farmer friendly, because that is the concern, you know, whatever the realities, whatever the truth about it, the perception is that somehow the land acquisition bill goes against the farmers, because the consent clause has been eased out, and also the social impact assessment clause.
And the government has not been able to scuttle that theory.
The government has not been able to convince that these two have been taken out for a good purpose and that it will not be misused. Their assurances are strong, are vocal, but there are no arguments behind them. The arguments behind them will have to come if the acquisition is only for infrastructure projects and not meant for private companies, then it's less of a problem generally. But BJP knows very well that it cannot do rural infrastructure without the help of the private sector. I mean, that is the whole idea, that the government does not want to be involved directly or fully into the infrastructure. You have to involve the private sector. That's where the opposition is able to make the point, look, you are giving away the land to the private sector. The truth might be different, but the perception, the arguments, it is part of the political battle.
So it's very unlikely that we see this bill sailing through the parliament.
I think the BJP is reconciled to the idea that they will not be able to push through the land acquisition bill, but they are also reconciled to the idea that there is not much of a harm, that they will take their time, that they will sort of gather the numbers, and that they will do a more sustained campaign about the need for the amendments they brought to the land acquisition bill. That
and I think the party has already begun work on that.
The party is gearing up for it, but the party is gearing up only on the rhetorical side of which is part of the political discourse, that you must refute the charges made by the opposition. But I think the more important thing they have to do, and they have not yet done, is to explain that these amendments do not affect the interest of the farmers, and in detail. That if you acquire a project for a rural infrastructure project, if a private sector company is involved in that rural, what does it mean? That it does not go to the private sector. I mean, that distinction they have to point out. And as a matter of fact, the senior BJP leader, speaking the usual on condition of anonymity, said the land should not be bought, but it should be leased out to whoever it is taking. And that lease and the rent should be paid to the farmer. So the farmer remains the owner of the land to whatever purpose it is being put to. But I do not think the BJP will accept that idea.
And perhaps the BJP and the Prime Minister himself has understood that without having friends in the opposition, it's very difficult
You cannot do
to
that.
achieve,
You
get
cannot
the
do
bills
that.
passed.
But you know, BJP is a party in a hurry because they want to do things quickly because 1 year is they've completed and they have to show something that they have done something in this 1 year and they are just left with another 4 years. So the time is of essence that they have to push through projects which they have not been able to do so far.
And not just the land bill, again, what they claim to be the biggest tax reform bill, the GST bill also, they're going to table it in Rajya Sabha. What do you think happens to that?
GST bill, I think the Congress has declared that they are in favor of GST in principle, and that's what the other day Prime Minister Manmohan Singh in an informal chat with the journalists said that we are not opposed to GST, but we think that it should be scrutinized because the new elements in the bill as brought by NDA requires scrutiny, but they are not opposed. So what they want is a procedural thing that it should go to the select committee and it should be scrutinized. But they are not opposed to the GST bill as such. But here again, the BJP is in a hurry because on the first anniversary, what is it that they have to show?
Right.
So they want GST is a major thing. They would have loved to show it as a trophy that this is the achievement of this new government, but I do not think they'll be able to do that. So that's indeed...
Of course, they're faced with a big problem because the Congress, of course, is going to step up its attack against Nitin Gadkari, demanding his resignation following the CAG report, which indicts
that will be there. I mean, I think Congress has become quite an aggressive opposition party. I think imitating BJP. When the BJP was in opposition, they didn't let go a single opportunity to attack the exposed flanks of the government. I think that's exactly what... and remember that BJP also was not really reconciled to the GST when they were in the opposition. So they gave a tough time to the Congress government, UPA government then. I think the UPA in opposition wants to do the same to the BJP, but in principle, they would want the GST.
And that's why the demand to send it to the select committee.
Yeah, but there is an assurance from Congress that they will pass it in the, let it be passed in monsoon session, but go through this procedural thing of sending it to the select committee.
What do you think about the recent bonhomie that we saw between the Prime Minister and Mamata Banerjee yesterday? Do you think it's the way both of them portrayed, they shared the dais, do you think it's an effort by Narendra Modi to have Mamata Banerjee on board?
I think it is an effort, but remember, like the left front, the BJP is a rival for the TMC in West Bengal.
Right.
So they can only be friends at the center and in parliament, but not in the state politics. Because the BJP is trying desperately to get a foothold in West Bengal politics, and they think that they have an opportunity now because the CPM is marginalized, the left front is marginalized. The BJP thinks that the only viable opposition to the BJP, to the TMC in West Bengal is the BJP. So I think it's politically tactful on the part of the Prime Minister to reach out to the Mamata West Bengal Chief Minister, but I think it remains at that. And it is but natural that they should, the central government and the state government should cooperate with each other. And federalism is a certain amount of, a principle of, it's a matter of conviction for the BJP on federalism. They are not really, they have not come to the position where they would like to dispense with the states, which is the Congress idea. Congress
but interestingly, you know, the olive branch is quite visible because while he listed out several scams of the Congress and the recent scams in the last 3-4 years, he refrained from touching upon the Sarada scam.
Very much, because I think if not now, if not immediately, TMC support in Lok Sabha and in Rajya Sabha would be very, very crucial for the BJP in the next couple of years.
Right, when the government realizes it needs to have friends in the opposition.
It needs to have, and that's a good thing that they are reaching out to the opposition and they are showing it is not enough to reach out to the opposition, but you must show that you are friendly also.
Right. All right, Mr. Rao, thank you so much for joining us this morning and enlightening us. So while it's very crucial for the government to pass these two crucial bills, the land acquisition bill and the GST bill, but of course it remains a challenge with a united opposition unrelenting on both issues. Moving on, in the bulletin, monsoon is expected to hit the Kerala coast on the 1st of June this year. Though it's expected to be on time, rainfall may remain below normal. This has prompted the government to put in place a contingency plan and push crop insurance for farmers. The contingency plan would cover as many as 580 districts that may witness monsoon deficit, while the Agriculture Ministry is also mulling over steps to popularize crop insurance schemes among the farming community. The timely onset of southwest monsoon is crucial for sowing of kharif crops like paddy, and a deficit in rainfall may hit the rice output. After a poor monsoon in the year 2014, the untimely rains during March-April this year have already put farmers in distress, and there have been quite a few cases of farmer suicides as well. Now, on the second day of his visit to West Bengal, Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurated the modernized ISCO steel plant in Burnpur. He also reached out to the states, saying they should work together to resolve national problems. Modi cited the Indo-Bangla land boundary agreement as a spirit of Team India, which should guide the partnership between the centre and the states.
Sharing the stage with the BJP's rival in West Bengal, Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Sunday batted for a Team India where states worked with the centre.
सारे विश्व के लिए भारत की संसद का ये निर्णय, टीम इंडिया का ये निर्णय, केंद्र और राज्य के साथ मिलकर के चलने के प्रयास का परिणाम कि आज समस्याएं दुनिया के किसी देश के साथ भी सुलझाई जा सकती है.
The Prime Minister said it was a misfortune that past tensions had clouded relations between states and the centre. He also took a dig at the previous UP regime, saying the media was full of reports on all kinds of scams in that period.
अखबार में खबर आती है तो क्या आती है? कोयले के घोटाले की खबर नहीं आती है, खबर आती है तो कोयले की नीलामी की खबर आती है. और 1,76,000 करोड़ के घोटाले को निकल करके आज 3 लाख करोड़ रुपया सरकारी खजाने में जमा होने का खबर आता है.
In her address, Mamata Banerjee recalled the former association of Trinamool Congress with the BJP. She said it helped the state to get a Bengal package and today modernization of ISCO.
जब एक साथ में हम काम कर सकते हैं तो कंट्री आगे बढ़ता है, और जब हम बंटवारा करते हैं तो कंट्री टूट जाता है. राजनीति रहेगा, डेवलपमेंट भी रहेगा, फेडरल स्ट्रक्चर भी रहेगा, सेंट्रल स्ट्रक्चर भी रहेगा. हमारा कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन का मुताबिक एक साथ में हम काम करेगा कि यूनिटी इज आवर स्ट्रेंथ एंड डिवाइड इज फॉल, एंड दैट्स व्हाई वी हैव टू स्ट्रेंथन आवर यूनिटी.
On Sunday, reports said Modi and Mamata had a meeting where she made a fresh speech for a debt waiver for Bengal. On Sunday, Modi also spent time at the Bellur Mutt, the headquarters of the Ramakrishna Mutt and mission founded by Swami Vivekananda. Modi spent about 20 minutes meditating inside the room where Swami Vivekananda lived. He also interacted with the monks present at the institution. Bureau report for Rajya Sabha television.
We'll slip into a very short break here, but coming up next, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal comes under attack for his government circular on defamatory news. More on that in just a bit.
Hello and a very warm welcome to a brand new edition of World Panorama with me, Frank Pereira.
Barack Obama has been elected on the basis that I will no longer take America into wars, and in fact quite the opposite, I will pull America out of wars.
According to the Indian government, fishermen are not at fault.
The US intervention in Iraq set the stage for exacerbation of these conflicts, and then the intervention in Syria.
Watch World Panorama at these times on Rajya Sabha television.
Welcome back. You're watching Breakfast News. Let's now take a look at the important events lined up for today in our segment, The Day Ahead. It's a crucial day for former Tamil Nadu Chief Minister J. Jayalalitha today. The Karnataka High Court will pronounce its verdict on her appeal against her conviction in the disproportionate assets case. Prohibitory orders have been clamped around the court area as a precautionary step, as thousands of Jayalalitha's followers are expected to gather for the verdict. Jayalalitha and 3 others had filed an appeal against the special court's verdict last year that sentenced them to 4 years in jail and imposed a hefty fine. Defence Minister Manohar Parrikar will chair a meeting of the Defence Acquisition Council today. The issue of the $2.5 billion Avro replacement program is likely to be discussed in the high-level meeting. The long-delayed order intends to replace the Air Force's aging fleet of 56 Avro aircraft through the Make in India route. As per requirement, 16 aircraft will come in flyaway condition from the original equipment manufacturer, while the remaining 40 are to be built in India. The Delhi unit of the BJP will launch an agitation in the national capital today against Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal's circular on defamatory news. The BJP termed it an attack on the freedom of the press, accusing Kejriwal of being anti-democratic. On Saturday, the Delhi government issued a circular to its officials, asking them to lodge a complaint with the Principal Secretary Home if they came across any news item that allegedly damages the reputation of the Chief Minister or the government. Now, Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal came under sharp attack for a controversial government circular that threatened action against the media for defamatory news. Both the Congress and the BJP called the move anti-democratic.
Delhi Chief Minister and Aam Aadmi Party Chief Arvind Kejriwal is in the middle of yet another controversy, this time over a diktat to sue media organizations for what his administration claims defamatory reports against the government or its ministers. According to the State Information and Publicity Department circular, all officials associated with the Delhi government have been asked to lodge a complaint with the Principal Secretary Home if they came across any news item that allegedly damages the reputation of the Chief Minister or the government. Opposition parties have come out strongly against what they are calling the height of hypocrisy.
When there is criticism against the government, when the wrongdoings of the government were exposed by the media, the Chief Minister is taking objection to that. That shows his anti-democratic attitude of the Chief Minister. He should understand that he is one person, came to limelight by criticizing others rightly and sometimes even wrongly also.
Delhi Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal wants one set of rules and laws for himself and his party, and he wants everybody else in the country to be governed by other rules and laws. He wants to enjoy the freedom of speech, unfettered freedom of speech, but he wants everybody's else throat to be throttled. I think this is not, this is the height of hypocrisy.
Other parties voiced similar views. Several leaders called it an attack on the freedom of press. After coming to power, this is not the first time Arvind Kejriwal has shown hostility towards the media. A few days back, the Aam Aadmi Party chief launched a direct attack on the press, saying a large section had taken what he called a contract to finish off his party. His remarks were strongly condemned. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And time now for some other stories from across the country in Nationwide. The much talked about Janata Parivar merger will not take place before the Bihar elections. Samajwadi Party, which is a key constituent of the alliance, has ruled out merger over a technical problem. Party leader Ram Gopal Yadav said a united party symbol needs to be resolved by the Election Commission first. A huge cache of arms were recovered in Bihar's Jamui district when a joint operation by the police and paramilitary forces busted a Maoist hideout. 6.5 quintal of ammonium nitrate used for making explosives was recovered from the spot. 9 sets of uniform, anti-state banners, etc. were among the things recovered from the spot. 3 people were killed and 6 others were injured when a jeep fell into a river in Uttarakhand's Tehri district on Sunday. 4 of the victims are in a critical condition. The police have recovered 3 bodies from the river. 2 others are still missing. Chief Minister Harish Rawat has assured compensation to the families of the deceased. The number of Asiatic lions in the Gir sanctuary and its surrounding areas has gone up to 523. It's an increase of 27% since 2010. The habitat area for the lions has also increased to 22,000 square kilometers, almost double in the last 5 years. But despite a peace deal, tensions continue to flare in Macedonia with armed groups fighting the police. 8 officers and 14 gunmen were killed in the fighting. Authorities accused Kosovans of trying to destabilize the country. The European Union as well as the NATO has urged restraint.
The northern Macedonian city of Kumanovo remains under lockdown, following deadly clashes between police and an armed group last night. Residents were seen fleeing the area with all they could gather after explosions rocked the town.
Gjithë popullata ka qenë e përgatitur për atë. Mirë, po në këtë rast është e kundërta. Popullata në fshatrat tona bilikujdestari ka bë mos të infiltrohet dikush nga jashtë në mesin e tyre.
Se në vetëm që dim na që janë popullata ngujuar aty, kanë me pa bukë, pa rrym, pa ushqim, pa kur gjë. Cilën as me dal. Po mundohemi me marrë kontakt me të ndërkombëtar.
Firings and explosion could be heard hours after the police launched an operation to contain violence believed to be ignited by Kosovans. At least 8 police officers and 14 gunmen were killed in the fighting, with many more suffering grave injuries. But the Interior Ministry claims the operation has now ended and the group has been successfully neutralized. The crackdown on the group has only heightened fears of instability in the nation after months of ongoing political crisis. The government and the opposition are already at loggerheads over alleged abuse of office and illegal wiretappings by the government. Observers fear political leaders on either side may try to stoke ethnic tensions as leverage. There have been calls to exercise restraint and avoid further escalation both from the NATO and the European Commission. There have been previous incidents of violence by the ethnic Albanians from Kosovo as recent as last month. The rebels are demanding greater rights for the minority and the creation of an Albanian state within Macedonia. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And for more international news and updates, here's the World Wrap. German Chancellor Angela Merkel's Conservatives faces another poll loss as the Social Democrats are set to win the Bremen state elections. A TV exit poll indicated that the Social Democrats would win the vote with 32.5%. The Eurosceptic Alternative for Germany has been snatching away votes from Merkel's Conservatives since it was founded in 2013 to oppose Eurozone bailouts for countries like Greece. 3 people were killed and 16 others wounded in a suicide blast in Kabul on Sunday. A suicide bomber targeted a bus carrying employees from the Attorney General office in Kabul. The Taliban claimed responsibility for the attack, which comes after the launch of their spring offensive last month. Cuban President Raul Castro met Pope Francis at the Vatican on Sunday. He praised the pontiff for helping to broker last year's diplomatic breakthrough between Cuba and the United States. At a news conference, Castro promised a warm welcome for the Pope when he goes to Cuba in September before visiting the United States. But Pakistan is ready to host India at the end of the year, reviving bilateral cricketing ties after 3 years. PCB chief met BCCI President Jagmohan Dalmia in Kolkata on Sunday to give a final note to the series to be played in UAE. The series will involve 3 tests, 5 ODIs and 2 T20 matches.
Cricketing ties between India and Pakistan are set to resume, with the series to be played in the United Arab Emirates in December. The announcement was made at a meeting between Pakistan Cricket Board Chairman Shahryar Khan and BCCI Chairman Jagmohan Dalmia.
We have an understanding, a memorandum of understanding to play 5 series in 8 years. And the first of these is scheduled to take place in December this year. And I have come here to state that this is an important beginning, a re-beginning, a revival of Pakistan-India cricket, which is so important to the cricketing community of India and Pakistan and of course the rest of the world.
As far as India is concerned, we are sure that unless cricket is through the test, ODI, etc., we have to come forward and we have to look into it, and once we do that, then only and only we will be in position to come out with some regular cricket, and we are eagerly waiting for it.
The 2008 Mumbai attack stopped the sequence before Pakistan came here with 3 ODIs and 2 T20s in 2012-13. The neighbours haven't played a bilateral series since. The proposed resumption of the bilateral series might also open the door for Pakistani cricketers to play in the IPL. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Well, that's it from us in this morning edition. Have a nice day.